Hi, my name's Barry Crampton. Welcome to another edition of Not the Evangelist News. And something else caught my eye in car dealer, as usual, and it made me laugh. It really did, because a couple of things have happened this week. We have a saying in the motor trade: 99% of people who aren't in the motor trade don't know they aren't in the motor trade. Everybody thinks, I used to be in the game. The amount of people that come in and say, I used to be in the game. It's not a game. It's only a game if you go into it while in between jobs. When you've served 50 years at the sharp end, the pointy end, it's not a game. You know, and this is why I'm so upset with this EV business and the way they're introducing them. It's unbelievably bad for the motor trade. It could actually kill it. It could kill the motor trade as we know it, and it is doing at the moment. Lots of people going out of business, lots of people losing money. They're trying to say even on Car Dealer here, that it's going to be, you know, used car sales are holding up. They're not. They're not holding up. It's, for want of a better word, at the moment, it's shit. It really is. In everything, all walks of life in the motor trade. And the thing that's made it shit is EVs, because they have just caused massive residual value problems. So there's two people come on and been interviewed. One is something to do with an electricity company, and this other one is something to do with an auction site. Now, I have a lot of time for the auction site, because to be honest, we buy more off motorway, but I look at CarWow every single day. I watch CarWow every day. I'm looking for an EV myself. Again, sold my last EV. I haven't seen one. They're just all boring and mundane. And I just want something a little bit different. Proper colour, good spec. They have to be, EVs have to have everything going for them. In order to sell them quick, they have to be perfect. Service history, you know, trying to find a one owner EV is like trying to, I won't use that one, needle in a haystack. Lady from the electricity leasing company, she comes on, she's interviewed, and she's telling car dealers how they should do it. You know what? Again, I've actually been in contact with their website regarding, I'm an affiliate. Well, it's Octopus Energy. I'm an affiliate. I have now contacted them, emailed them, filled the form in for the third time to ask for details on salary sacrifice. And they're supposed to give you a call back in 48 hours, within 48 hours. They haven't done. I've actually been in touch with somebody from Octopus Energy to tell them that, really speaking, you need to get your own house in order before you start commenting on ours. You are part of the problem, not selling EVs. I want to buy, well, no, I want to lease a VW ID Buzz for a business venture. I want one. It's an EV. I want it. I love it. I like the look of it. I don't care if it only does 50 mile on a charge. That would be perfect. I don't care. I want the space in the back, and I want it to look like that. I want to get one. Been in touch with them. They've not come back to me. But yet, she's on a program, and actually, she's also on Electric Everything. Pushing the narrative, but not actually doing it themselves. Telling us what to do, how we should do it. But like Auto Trader, they're telling us how to sell cars. And all the time they're telling us how to sell cars, their advertising platform is going down the Swanee. I used to sell more cars on live chat when I was abroad. I could sell them from anywhere in the world. I'd be sat there, beach in Sorrento, not the beach in Sorrento, by the pool or in the bar in Sorrento, anywhere. And honestly, they were so easy to close because we'd got such a good website and I'd got all the information on my phone about all the cars. And I could be out having a drink, looking at Vesuvius, the Grand Hotel Vesuvio, sat there on the Champagne Terrace, couldn't afford to stay there, could only afford a beer in the Champagne Terrace, but I was there all the same, selling cars. They've changed it to a new live chat. It was contact at once, which was brilliant. They've changed it to live person. It's shit. It's the worst system I've ever used. It signs you out every 2 minutes. Let me just check. I normally have it on my phone all the time. So I have it live all the time. I answer it in the middle of the night. That's kind of how committed I am. So here we go. Conversational cloud. Sign me out. I promise I haven't signed myself out. Sign me out. So get your own house in order before you tell us what to do. But this one, imagine that you had at your disposal a load of statistics, a load of cars for sale, a load of EVs every single day. Imagine you could just look at that. So here we go. CarWow Sally Foote encourages car dealers to stock used EVs amid real demand from buyers. Real demand? Okay. Sally Foote, CarWow's Chief Commercial Officer, Sell My Car, joins us on the Car Dealer podcast. We discuss the biggest news headlines of the week and the current state of the used EV market. It's a big discussion, isn't it? Lots of people. Have you wondered why all these people are sticking the 2 pennyworth in? Has that crossed your mind? Why all of a sudden have they got interested in changing to EVs? What's it got to do with them? So here we go. December 16th, this was written. Used car dealers need more support from manufacturers and the government in order to sell second-hand electric cars. Do we? Well, I don't. What support? What support do you need? This is the verdict of CarWow's Sally Foote, who believes there is still a high reluctance from used car retailers to stock EVs because they've blown the brains out. Because Motorpoint had 90 Teslas in stock when the music stopped and they were left with them. 90. Because everybody else has blown a fortune. Why do you think they're reluctant? Appearing on the latest episode of the Car Dealer podcast, Foote said that the figures show there is a high demand for second-hand electric cars, but the stock is not flowing onto the market. Well, it is. There's 6,000 more EVs on Auto Trader than there was 3 weeks ago. So stock is flowing onto the market. There's twice as many in BCA as there was last month. So it is flowing onto the market. If I wanted it to flow onto my pitch, I could have 100 tomorrow. I could have 1,000 tomorrow. I'll tell you what, if I really wanted EVs, I'd be on the phone to Motability. I'd be on the phone to the manufacturers. And I know very well that I could buy as many as I want and I could get them at a knockdown price because they are desperate to get rid of them. So that's wrong. CarWow Sell My Car Chief Commercial Officer put this down to dealers still being concerned about selling, servicing and warranting used EVs. Well, really speaking, that's our concern and not yours. You're not a car dealer. You're using a private to get their car and you're an intermediary. You've got no skin in the game. Doesn't matter to you whether it sells or not. If it sells, it's great. And you make your percentage and you take your percentage and you've got no risk whatsoever. So it doesn't matter to you. Why are you sticking your nose in? So you can sell more? Well, you can't sell more EVs because there's not enough anyway. So it's not like you need more EVs. They all sell at a price. They're not selling at cap. And you know they're not selling at cap because you can see what cap is, you can see what the owner asks for them, and you can see what they sell. That is not cap. EVs are not stabilising. They are not bringing cap. They're not going up. They are going down still no matter what the valuation services say, they are going down. Speaking with regular podcast hosts James Baggett and John Ray, Foot said, "I would back it used EVs. I think we're seeing such a high appetite for them at the moment, and we're still seeing it across our platform and with dealers that we talk to, a really high reluctance in stocking used EVs." Well, I tell you what, you'd back them. Why don't you use CarWow's money to buy the vehicles off the privates, and then you sell them to the dealers, or you sell them, you retail them. Easy enough to do. You've got all the details, they've already put it on. All you have to do is re-advertise it, resell it. Why don't you do that? Why don't you use your new investment? Let me. Are CarWow making money with all those other people's money? Are CarWow making profit with all those other people's money? Partners have told us that their teams have never even potentially driven or sold these cars before. They have a real uncertainty about selling them. They're worried about their ability to service them and warranty them. They're worried about batteries. All of the concerns about stocking them. As a result, we've got this increasing buyer appetite for these cars, and you're seeing that come through in some of the stock turn figures. So what do you think car dealers do? What do you think the wives run? The mum and dad? Why do you think they're concerned, but there's a demand for them? I'll tell you what, what about this? How about the government, right, I've got a solution for you. Forget all the incentives. Let's change the rules so that car dealers don't have to give a warranty on the battery. Let's change the rules. Let's do that. Okay? Let's change the rules so that car dealers don't have to stand behind them. So that if anything goes wrong with them, a judge in 6 months' time says that, like timing belts, you can't prove, if a timing belt hasn't been done, or you can't prove it's been done, then a judge ruled that the car dealer should have done it. Because if it goes wrong, it could be an expensive repair. You should have done it, Mr. Car Dealer. A judge did that and gave somebody thousands of pounds, somebody whose cam belt had gone in France. And they hired a car and they sued the dealer. Even though it was out of warranty, they sued the dealer. And they got costs. So government incentives, let's not chuck money at everything. How this woman thinks that the government are going to give second-hand car dealers some money. I mean, it's just insane. Why would they do that? Who would even think of that? If you can't make profit on it, you look at what you can sell it at, you look at your overheads, you look at your reconditioning costs, you look at how much profit you need from the deal, and then that's how much you pay for it. You don't do all that and then think, well, then the government might chuck me a couple of grand. These people are insane. I mean, if you're going to have people on like this, at least ask them questions. And then perhaps they will see how stupid they're being. I think it was Motors that reported being the Tesla Model 3 being fastest stock turn car in November. I remember I was like, well, yeah, because these cars are in demand and they're not widely available through the Usenet. Oh, crikey. Everybody's got one stuck up them. You know, you have a look at the privates that have had them for sale for 2 years on Auto Trader. They've had them and reduced them like 20 grand or something. If you think about the volume of used cars that have gone through leasing schemes, salary sacrifice, etc., that are coming into the used car park, the incentives have got to be around supporting used dealers to sell those cars. Why? Everybody wants them. Everybody's saying it, you know, everything electric. 99% of people who've had an EV won't go back. This is ridiculous. Speaking about how current situation could be rectified, so she's going to tell us that this is good. After she's got no money in it. Her firm's got no money in used EVs apart from being a broker. She's going to tell us how to do it. Let's see what she's got. Let's see what pearls of wisdom she's got. Speaking about how the current situation could be rectified, Foot called on manufacturers and the government to step in and provide additional support to dealers who want help. I wonder how many dealers that'll be. You know, if there's a freebie going, I wonder how many do. She added, I don't know exactly what this looks like. Oh, all right. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but that is where I'd want to see something of a government focus, particularly because that is where these cars get affordable for a much broader spectrum of the population. We are seeing people who are interested in EVs. They can't afford a new EV, but they are very interested in a used EV. That's because they've absolutely tanked and they're cheaper than petrol. And that stock is just not flowing back into the consumer market in the way that you'd hope, because used dealers are still very nervous about stocking them and need more support to be able to do that. I think that's both from the manufacturers and from the government incentives. The Car Dealer Podcast, sponsored by CarWow. So they've paid to get this tripe out to car dealers. Sees an industry guest join our host to discuss the motor trade's biggest headlines of every week. What absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So used car dealers want a bung for selling used EVs. Guess what? Guess who else wants them? Leasing companies get them at less than cost. They get them at less than they cost the dealers. And then because they've all been losing money in the auctions when they've come to dispose of them, they want a meeting with the government for the government to give them the money they've lost. So basically that's a payment. That would be a payment from the taxpayer saying, you people at the leasing company, you haven't got a clue what you're doing. You don't know. Like the banks, when the banks lost all that money, what happened? The taxpayer bailed them out. Well, you know, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. It's unbelievably stupid. And for that to be in print just goes to show you how desperate EV people are. How desperate they are to get EV in front of everybody. In front of all the readers, in front of all the dealers. Chinese EV names and all this crap. Just ask yourself, all these people calling at the climate intelligence, the ZEV mandate's working, car dealers are going skint, these people they're only a broker. They want something done. The leasing companies are losing money hand over fist. Millions and millions of pounds. Dealers are losing millions and millions of pounds. The manufacturers have discounted EVs so far this year by £4 billion and they think it's going to be £6 billion by the end. But they're such good sellers. What a load of rubbish. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.